Welcome to the Wealth Transfer. My name is Terry Sacka. I'm along with Dr. Charles Vance, and we're going to get into some global economics and Middle Eastern war. So stay tuned. Hello, Charles. How are you?
Oh, we're not getting into the Middle Eastern war.
No, gosh.
You know, we fail to do this normally for a month at a time. People don't know who we are if they're tuning in new. They say, so who's Terry Sacka? Who's Charles Vance? You have some credentials in the financial market that are pretty amazing.
Yep. Well, you know, I am a past financial advisor. I hold multiple financial licenses. I am a chief strategist here at Cornerstone. I've been a chief strategist for a while. Been with Cornerstone for about, we've had Cornerstone moving now for about 5 years when God said build it. Ever since then, have never had a complaint. I've really ran a really tremendous and reputable business. But along the way in that 5 years, we have really come together. God has brought in phenomenal relationships, things that you just can't have if you're messing around or if you're some kind of scammy company. We've been investigated multiple times by the different levels of state and federal, making sure everything we do is on the up and up. And it's the relationships, the refinery, the minting, the ministry relationships. You know, we've had our fair share of demonic false lie attacks way back in the past. Never with Cornerstone, though. God made it real clear to me to get out of unyoked relationships and to go about it this way and serve the kingdom, which we have done. And ever since then, of course, you know, we hold an A+ rating at BBB that way and have never had a complaint as a company because we work really hard at resolving issues. But, you know, in this world of financial let's say natural resources, Charles, it is crazy. And especially even being on TV, being in radio, there is, well, you on that goes in ministry, sure. You really get them coming out of the woodwork from time to time.
Absolutely.
So we've learned to build a hedge of protection internally and then around ourselves externally that way. We're all heavy, fully spirit-filled people. Sure. At Cornerstone, we are the minters and refiners, so we're not broker people. We actually are manufacturers of the natural resource, and I think that lends a lot of credibility to what we do. So it's been nice.
And I'm just a pastor.
Feel very blessed.
Just a pastor for 20-some years. Have produced several thousand television programs, and I'm a licensed building contractor. Very, very interested in the body of Christ, understanding and knowing what's going on financially in the world and them getting themselves prepared so that they can be on the receiving side of the wealth transfer rather than on the losing side of it. And I think that I was one of the reasons that this program is here because Terry didn't want to do television and we just pushed and pushed and pushed until he said okay.
Well, you know, it was the crazy, you know, it was really the crazy people, and they just come out of the woodwork and create things, make things up, try to do things to you. I had one time someone, you know, steal a FedEx number and act like they worked for us and cause all sorts of legal issue. I'm like, what are you, nuts or something? There's crazy people out there. I didn't want to be exposed to more crazy people. It's just such a tiring spin to deal with. But you know what I learned, Charles? God made it real clear. He whacked me pretty good. And someone gave me a scripture that was really perfect. He said, that's never stopping, but just know, I rebuke the devourer. Revenge is mine. You just stay honorable and truthful with Cornerstone and go forward. He said, build it, and I'll fill it. And so it was because of that I said, okay, you know, I'll go into TV then, whatever, because you're right. The data, the news that we're delivering is so important.
Certainly it is.
That people are not getting anywhere else. You're not seeing these images typically unless you search for them. And then even though we talk to people, we have a wonderful crew of people, you know, real on-fire, good, spirit-filled Christians. And you know, we're battling confusion, fear.
Not amongst your people.
No, not amongst our people. I'm talking people that call in.
They're calling in. They don't understand what's going on.
They don't understand the media. They don't understand, well, you know, I see this. Why are you saying that? All I'm here to say is we're showing you the data.
Sure.
I'm really not heavy on opinion-driven. I'm heavy on data-driven.
Absolutely.
And so it's not so much about my opinion. It's what I can show the data.
Same thing in ministry. You know, I think it was old Dad Hagen that used to say chapter and verse.
I love that. Yes.
I love it too. You know, if you're going to talk Bible with me, give me the facts and give it to me from the original source.
You know, I had a wonderful pastor that I really went through the whole deliverance concept, the whole renewing of my soul. He was just tremendous. A Rhema guy. from Hagen. And this guy was so wonderful. And he always used to help me understand that too. He said, Terry, where is it?
Absolutely.
Show me the verse. Show me where it is. And I learned. I'm a deep study, of course, of the Bible. I study the Greek. I study the Hebrew. I'm real serious about how God really put it together, right down to the Aleph Tav of Genesis 1:1 up. But I take it really serious. So I spend half my time, if not more, in ministerial capacity because I love it, the passion and the fire of the authority God has given us. And being around Charles and doing this has been such an honor because when we get together, I mean, it's no joke. We'll stay up to 11 or 12 at night and bat around Scripture. And really, you know, iron sharpens iron. It's just been a wonderful experience for me.
We really want people to understand what's going on financially in the world. That's the purpose of this program. Last week we were talking about some of the stuff that's going on in the Middle East. It's ugly. It's nasty. Really stuff that we would like to just dismiss out of our minds. But if we do that, we're probably going to miss the reality of what we need to be doing, the decisions that we need to be making.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not a doomsday ministry. Our church is not. Your programming is not a doomsday program. We want people to be informed. And if you don't have proper facts, you can't make proper decisions.
That's what it's about.
And that's what this is about.
Yes, because it's the proper facts that allows you to see the world for what's coming. Sure. I think God gave us the ability to see things to come.
No doubt.
If we take off the veil of deception over our eyes. And so I believe this program is doing its best to try to get information out there so we can be properly protected in the church, individually, have an inheritance for our children and our children's children. I mean, the facts are really sound and solid as to why, you know, this is a good place to store your hard-earned wealth. I mean, why would we trust banks, brokerages, stocks, or bonds when you can own the physical in a vault for your retirement and then sell it off in pieces down the road if you want to raise money? But inevitably, these assets are going to be incredibly higher, more, well, let me just say, I don't want to puff it too hard, it's the hardest thing. They're going to be higher in value. It's going to be exponential. Because this is what you said now about going on in the Middle East. It's not just the Syria conflict, this and that. We've escalated so much so, I mean, let's go full for a minute. Now, let me show you some of these things. This is what Russia, after Turkey shot down the Russian jet, this is how Russia responded. They put this missile system into Syria. This is no joke, Charles. That is a very serious missile system. That can take off and annihilate regions.
I bet, yeah.
There you go. That started rolling into Syria. Now, what we've shown over the last few weeks, does this not look like escalation to you?
Well, sure it does.
We shoot down the jet. Russia's cool, cat, and calm. But look at the system they just put into Syria. That doesn't look like bottle rockets to me. And the missile system I had wasn't even that big. That one takes out grid squares. So you want to keep pushing buttons. It may set off the wrong tone at the wrong time, and it could be because of this economic situation coming, and the narrative is playing out. Remember, Russia, China, South Africa, the BRICS, all of the Eastern Alliance are all coming against the West in the dollar dominance. China just now got added in as a reserve currency, so we're not the reserve currency anymore in Kingpin. Wait till you see how that plays out. So this is becoming important for our future, our standard of living. Remember, being informed, being educated is essential in the body of Christ. Let's get our ministries, our churches prepared and educated, and the best way we can get educated is to be informed with information. So take it down, write it down, register. Here's a way you can get started.
Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked hard to gain. For those who have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, we would like to send you a package of information regarding the changes to the dollar and the challenges of our economy that you need to be prepared for. This package includes how easy it is to roll over your current IRA or 401k into a physical precious metals IRA for long-term protection of your hard-earned wealth. For those of you with cash to invest, we can arrange to have your precious metals stored in a private vault or simply send it to your home. Call or register now.
Now, we've been laying out over the last few weeks why. We're kind of giving you a drawn-out visual of what's taking place, the Chinese coming in currency, the Middle East war, Turkey shooting down jets, and all of this. Well, so I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes, and I'm going to go at you with the main reasons and what is really happening from different angles and wrap it up to kind of give you an understanding of here we are today, where are we going to be tomorrow. I just know this year, 2016, is going to be hot. And if you think presidential election is going to get in the way, wait until you see more terrorism and more heat in the battlefront. And it's going to make for a very interesting year. All I know is I would be having emergency food, I would have your assets right, and I would just keep going on and let's say sharpening up that spiritual connection, because we're going to need the wisdom going forward. Because this, Charles, and we can go full instead. We don't have to.
Stay ready to stay successful.
Absolutely, because I think this is a tremendous opportunity for we in the kingdom to not only have tremendous wealth transfer, but then with those resources be able to feed. I mean, half the food that we show in the end of the show, it's not even just about the individual. Think about a church. It's 35 cents a meal. Think about a church having a bag of food that feeds a family for 2 days, and you can just give it the bag, and all you do is boil water and add it. To me, that's a big deal.
Sure.
So if times do get rough and we're blinded because we haven't been there from World War I or II, or we don't know, if it comes down like that, it won't hurt to have extra food around, because you give it to people who are going hungry. But these are the people right here that we're affiliated with. Now, we keep saying we're going after them to stop them, but we keep giving them ammunition and stuff, equipment. That's a woman. And that's why, by the way, I know I said women and children, why not, but that's a woman. Now, granted, I really believe most of them do not want to, but there are plenty of them that do and feel this way. I don't know about you, but I don't want them in my country. So the question comes down to, why are they so radical? And now, beyond the fact that the Quran says so, because I've read lots of the Quran, and it says that they're allowed to lie to you. You're an infidel, meaning you're not even worthy of it. In the end of the day, you either come to Islam or you die. And so this is just what the Quran says. Now, I love what you said, that there are a lot of them they're Muslim, but they really, they don't care.
There's Christian like that. There's
Christians
people that
like
call
that.
themselves Christian, don't know a thing about the Bible.
Yes, and those are probably people decent that just want to raise their families.
Sure.
I'm with you on that.
Sure.
Problem is the M&M jar. 10,000 M&Ms, 10 of them are poisonous. Does she look like she's going to be your good neighbor? Right? Why can they rape, murder, and torture children and women? Right there. That is known as Captagon. Captagon is a drug that is so fiercely going through the whole Islamic radical jihad movement. It is so radical of a drug, it is worse than methamphetamine, worse than heroin. It allows them to stay up for days on end. It allows them to take multiple gunshots and injuries without any feeling of pain. And it allows them to continue to be, it basically makes them a psychotic. It's a psychotic drug. This is so pervasive right there. That right there is a stimulant that keeps the rebels on their feet and fuels the arms trade, right? That's not all. Look at that pile. They're making busts. Number one, who's making that drug? Who's giving it to them? These radical jihadist types, this is the stuff they're taking. They're not ideological. They're saying this is ideological. This is not as ideological as you think, Charles.
You can't think properly when your mind is full of drugs.
Research Captagon.
Yeah.
This stuff is not just a drug. It is a serious drug, like worse than methamphetamine. Look at this bust that took place. This one, this was done by our government. This was a big bust here. That is tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of tablets. And that's how much is getting through. So these people are all puffed up on drugs, and then we're giving them sophisticated weaponry. And Russia knows this, China knows this. I'm putting it together because I really see an epic danger for America's future that we have this really teetering financial situation. We then have this going on in the Middle East, and it's all kind of doing this, Charles. And it really, we better watch it.
We've just got to prepare ourselves. We said this a couple of weeks ago. My bishop got in my face and said, Charles, nobody's going to take care of you but you. And the fact is, people are not taking care of themselves. It woke me up. It put me and my wife into a business mode. Although we were pastoring a church, he said, listen, your church is not going to look out for you. And to some degree, he's right. He said, the business community, your family is not going to look out for you. You've got to look out for yourself. The government is certainly not going to look out for you, and you've got to learn to be someone who looks out for themselves and makes decisions to manage what you have. That's a key. A lot of times people are thinking, well, I'm going to hit the big time. Terry, I know people, when you talk to people about silver and gold, they think, wow, if I buy this at the right time and it moves at the right time, we're rich overnight. And that's not what this is about. This is about investing for your future, planning for your future, so that you can be successful in your future, so that wealth will transfer to you and not from you. And that's what we've got to learn. You know, we've talked about this before. This is a matter of us getting something tangible within our possessions, because when we have something tangible, and believe me, this is not. This is a piece of paper. It's fiat. It's fake is what that means. Even the people that make this stuff call it fiat.
That's right.
They call it fake.
They know.
We need to get things in our possession that is tangible, things that God made. When you do that, they can be traded for other things.
Thank you.
And that's what this is all about. We need this stuff. It needs to be tangible in our life.
Well, especially with so much deception taking place.
Right.
I mean, right now, people say, well, ISIS, okay, granted we're giving them weapons, we're doing this, not on purpose, of course, I know that was accidents, right? But where's their money coming from? They've taken over some oil regions, but where's the money coming from? Who's buying the oil, right?
Exactly.
AKA walks in, Turkey. These red dots here are oil routes for what ISIS is moving. Right now they're saying who's moving that oil? That oil's moving out and being transported by Turkey. Matter of fact, Turkey's president's son is shipping companies doing it. Somebody's buying that oil, giving money to ISIS. ISIS is funding the war that way. So we know this is going down. And so, you see what I mean? It smells a little bit. Now, honestly, I actually am 100% in support of this strategy if they weren't radical, crazy people killing women and children and Christians. Because I wouldn't want Russia and China doing what's getting ready to happen to the dollar, because our standard of living is going to be so marginalized, Charles. We have never seen it yet. I call it normalcy bias. Intelligent people in denial because they haven't
just
seen it.
sitting around doing nothing because nothing's happened
yet. They
yet.
don't know it's coming, and they're so skeptical. But all I know is we are supporting a really bad narrative.
Sure.
And I think the reason I bring it in so heavy is I think spiritually it's going to have a backlash to our soul as a nation. And so I'm coming across from this point of view. Somebody's buying that oil. And we know it's being routed through Turkey. That's what makes it interesting that Turkey shot down the Russians, because you know why? Russia was stopping the ISIS people. Isn't that interesting?
People almost think if they can disconnect themselves from something that is direct, that it's not a problem. That it's okay to support something through somebody else because we're solving a problem maybe that we have.
You know, that's very true.
And I've seen that happen over the years in everything. I had a guy stop me a few years ago, and he had gone to our church for a period of time. He stopped me. He said, Pastor, he said, I don't know if this is right or wrong. He said, but I'll tell you, I'm really being blessed. I said, really? That's good. I said, how you doing that? He said, I opened a wine and cigarette store. Now, he thinks it's all right.
Well, that's not really funny.
Yeah, it's not funny. It was ridiculous almost to think it. And he said, the Lord's really blessing me because of it. I doubt that.
I doubt that,
He's supplying things for people that don't need that product or shouldn't have that product, but he thinks because he's not using it, he's fine.
You know what's funny?
He supplies it for other people.
You know
and
what's
that's
funny?
what this is doing, what
Yes.
you've just shown us.
And I shouldn't laugh, but, you know,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's why
well,
it's laughable.
my wife and I, we have tremendous Mexican recipes, and we were going to open up a Mexican restaurant one time, but we decided, we felt kind of guilty because, like, some of that food, if you cook it with the wrong grease and things, it can be too much for the body, right? And we kind of felt like, that might not be a good thing to promote. So if we were to ever do that in the future, we would do it with a healthier product because we don't want to promote such a heavy grease-laden. But it was funny, kind of similar thing, but we actually felt the pressure of that. But we should be feeling the pressure of what's coming here because our future standard of living, we need to manage properly and be good stewards of. So remember, being informed and being educated is a key component of this. And so if we're informed and we're educated, we can make diversified investment decisions to protect and preserve this future and be prepared for what's coming. Best way to do that is get information, and here's one way you can do it.
Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked hard to gain. For those who have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, we would like to send you a package of information regarding the changes to the dollar and the challenges of our economy that you need to be prepared for. This package includes how easy it is to roll over your current IRA or 401k into a physical precious metals IRA for long-term protection of your hard-earned wealth. For those of you with cash to invest, we can arrange to have your precious metals stored in a private vault or simply send it to your home. Call or register now.
So here we have the only legitimate country that should be in Syria by invitation was Russia, actually attacking not only ISIS but the rebels, which are Al-Qaeda, doing the real job, and our country saying we're going to attack you. Well, look at this. Let's go full and look at this image. And then, matter of fact, we may even want to, if I think about it, yeah. This is an image actually in Arabic. And this is something that took place. Now, this just happened recently, and we touted this in our media. We bombed all of these oil tankers, and we were trying to stop them from doing this. It was Russia, by the way, that really did it. What did we do? In Arabic, they're writing this: get out of your trucks now and run away from them. We dropped flyers, Charles, saying get out of your trucks and run away. Why are we warning our ISIS people to get out of the truck? Wouldn't you want to kill them? I mean, think of how serious this is.
That's a little radical.
We're warning airstrikes are coming, oil trucks will be destroyed, get away from them immediately. There were no innocent women and children in those oil trucks.
Right.
See what I mean? We're acting like we're doing something, but we're not. And what is it all about? Oil routes and energy routes. Again, petrodollar, U.S., Russia, China. It's coming in. These pipeline routes are exactly what is the purpose. It's either Russia's going to maintain control because Syria is the linchpin of it. So either Russia's going to maintain their energy dominance that way, or we're going to destroy their energy dominance. Do you think Russia is going to tolerate it?
Oh, no way.
No. This is the battlefield right now as the world stands. Right there. That's Battlefield Earth. We have, and the show's in shades of pink. You even see Russia and China there because they're in shades of pink. Thank you very much. You have Libya. We unseated Libya. You have Syria, Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, and then Russia, China, and North Korea. That's the battlefield right now that's brewing. They're serious, salivating, and stuff taking place. That is what is going on. If that doesn't explain what I've been trying to show you, I don't know what else does. And let's look at this now. Let's go into why. This way we can stay at a full view. This is wrapping up, Charles, as to why the West has to make this distraction happen. Right here. That right there. Global central banks in the West have a balance sheet exploding up to no man's land. Look at, they've gone from what, a couple trillion to tens of trillions of dollars literally in 10, 15 years. So basically you're printing this fiat money out of thin air into nothing land. Look at this one, global debt to GDP. From 94 to 2014, in the trillions. You could see it wasn't really that big of a deal, and then it just exploded. It exploded on the surface. This type of debt to GDP is so important, Charles, because this is what's causing the West to panic. Basically, those big bars, money printing Bolivian, our wealth is being evaporated, and you don't think it's important to get into a proper asset. And I'm going to leave you with this one. How are they manipulating the markets to keep you away from the asset you should be in? It's known as a spoof. Look at this. Look at that. That was a gold trade in the middle of the night right before the Thanksgiving holiday. Collapse. 18,000 contracts sold. Impossible. You can take that off. It's impossible for that to happen. Those are bankers manipulating the system. They don't want you owning gold and silver. So as we wrap up this stuff going on over there in the Middle East, stay wise. Pray for that wisdom. Let that truth set you free. Until next week, God bless you.
We will be back next week, same place, same time, right here for more of the Wealth Transfer. Tell somebody about the broadcast, and remember, you can watch these programs on demand at CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. We'll see you next week, same place, same time, right here for the Wealth Transfer.
Good night.
Cornerstone Asset Metals has focused on using gold and silver reserves to protect your assets from volatile currencies. Another hard asset that is just as important for your sustainability is food. We believe that preparation is a key to being successful in an unstable economic environment, so we started CAM Ready Food just for you. The Bible tells us that Joseph used the resources of Egypt to prepare for a global famine by storing up food in a time of plenty. His preparation not only preserved the lives of his family, but many others as well. At Cornerstone, we believe the time is now to re-examine this biblical lesson so that you and your family can be prepared for any disaster, job loss, food shortage, or economic instability. You can start preparing today by visiting our website, camreadyfood.com, because food truly is the ultimate currency. Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked hard to gain. For those who have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, we would like to send you a package of information regarding the changes to the dollar and the challenges of our economy that you need to be prepared for. This package includes how easy it is to roll over your current IRA or 401k into a physical precious metals IRA for long-term protection of your hard-earned wealth. For those of you with cash to invest, we can arrange to have your precious metals stored in a private vault or simply send it to your home. Call or register now.